Hello everyone, I would like to share with you how I fixed the leather on my gear knob. The leather was old and torn, and at one point it just fell apart. I brought the gear knob to a few places thinking they would be able to fix it, but they told me that these knobs are quite complicated and they will not be able to help me, so I decided to do it myself. In my opinion, it's quite simple to fix these. Right now I'm showing you the final result, and here is before. You can clearly see the condition, so let's get it done. Here is the gear knob as well as the old leather. I will use the old leather to make a template and then cut precisely the new leather. In order to make the template, I basically folded the leather and marked only half of it, and this will help me to create a symmetrical template. While making the template, I made sure to leave a decent amount of excess material, which can be trimmed later if needed. I was not happy with this template, so I made a second one, which was not perfect, but it will do the job. Then I carefully cut the template and test fitted it on the gear knob, making sure that I have enough material. Once I was happy with the fit, the next step was to cut the new leather. I found it quite hard to make marks on the leather, so I basically taped the template on the leather and carefully cut it. Here is the final piece. Next step is to make a stitch. Before I make the stitch, I made a mark on the leather using a pencil. I made the stitch using a sewing machine. If you don't have one at home, you can do it by hand or bring it to your local tailor. They will do it for very cheap, if not for free. Once I was ready with the stitch, I trimmed the excess material and tested it once again. After that, I basically glued the top part of the leather to the gear knob, which was not a mandatory step, but I think it will hold it nice and tight. I used some cheap universal glue, but before you use anything, make sure it's compatible with the leather. And we are done. Here is the final part. I think it looks awesome. It's easy to make and it's cheap, just a few bucks for the materials. The final step is to place it back on the car, which is quite simple. Just make the steps in the reverse. If you have any suggestions or ideas, you can send me an email or write me a comment. I would love to check them out. Thanks.